this is a combination of a few different granny square styles hodgepodge together to make this monstrosity, which I love. Michelle here, also known as Fancy Dinosaur Tea Party, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I crocheted the crocheted parts to the lampshade that I made. If you are new to my channel, you like sewing, crafting, crocheting, and thrifting, why not hit the subscribe button? I feel like most of y'all have come from the last video I did, which was making this lampshade. There is a few things that I would like to change, and I'll change them eventually, but in today's video, I am just going to show you how to crochet one of these panels. And that's essentially it for this video. In the last video that I did, where I made this lampshade, I did tell y'all that I was not adding how I crocheted it. Wanted to make a whole new video for that, and that is what this video is, and it's just me showing you how I crocheted this piece. Now I do want to mention that the dimensions and how I am making this is for like the dimensions of my lamp. If you decide you want to make a lamp yourself, you might have different dimensions. Just take that into account, that the measurements that I am doing for this is for this lampshade that I made, and I will list the dimensions of it. If you want to know how I made the lampshade, definitely check out my previous video where I go over all of that detail, but today I am just showing you how I crocheted this. For this project, I am using a 5mm crochet hook, which is a USH8, and a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle. Now this yarn needle is only if you are actually going to attach it to the lampshade. If you're not gonna attach it to a lampshade, then you don't need the yarn needle. So I will be using 4 colors. The yarn that I'm using today is all by Impeccable, and that's the Loops and Threads brand yarn, which you can buy at Michael's. Now, I bought these colors a long time ago before their prices jumped. Quickly just wanna go over the dimensions of one panel. So the height of it is around 10 inches. The widest part of it is 9 inches, and the shortest part of it is 3 inches. And this is what the finished product is going to look like. So this is what it's gonna look like. Now, this is a combination of a few different granny square styles that I hodgepodge together to make this monstrosity, which I love. This is a combination of an African flower granny square as well as a sunflower granny square, and then I just also made some roundness happen instead of making it a square. I hope that makes sense. This is meant for a lampshade, and the lampshade is made to my specifications. If you are doing a lampshade and you need it to be bigger or smaller, this whole project might differ for you. Say you're just interested in just making this, then you don't gotta worry about all this, but that will be near the end of the video anyways. You're gonna wanna start off with your center, and for my center, I am doing it in this brown color, and we're gonna do everybody's favorite magic circle. Yeah. I'm going to first show you how to make the magic circle, which can be a little bit tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's quite easy. It took me a while. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my hand palm up, and I'm going to just drape the yarn over my hand. Then I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm going to pinch it right there on my pointer finger. Then I'm going to flip my hand over. So when I'm flipping my hand over, I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to put it between my ring finger and my pinky, just like this. And then I'm wrapping it around one more time. And when I'm going back over, I'm going to try to make an X, okay? So I'm making an X. That's what it looks like on the back. This is what it looks like on the front. And then I'm going to stick it in between here. So my pinky is holding that in. Then I'm gonna grab my crochet hook and I'm gonna go under and over and pull. And that's what's great about the crochet hook, is that there's a little tiny hook, you see? All right, we're gonna use this hook, and that's what's gonna help us with this magic circle. So this line goes this way, and this line is the one that goes underneath. So I'm gonna go under the first one, and I'm going to use my hook, and I'm gonna grab this yarn, and I'm gonna pull it through, and then I'm just going to twist it. So you have just one little twist on your hook. Then you're going to grab the same yarn that you just hooked onto, so this one over here, but we're going over this. Okay, so we're going over, and with that hook, we're going to grab that yarn, and your hand is gonna kind of make a twisting motion, and while you do that, you're gonna pull this yarn through this loop. And that's the magic circle. Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to do 10 slip stitches in the magic circle. Now again, when you are doing the magic circle, you wanna make sure that you are crocheting over these 2 pieces here, okay? What ends up happening is you're gonna have to take this tail end and you pull it, and then that's what's gonna close the circle in. We're gonna take our hook and we're just gonna go under that loop there. So just into the circle, and we're gonna yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Well, that's 1. We need to do 9 more. Into the magic loop. We're gonna yarn over. We're gonna pull out of that magic loop. We're gonna yarn over and pull through 2. Now I'm gonna pull that tail. It's closed up now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go into the very first one that we did. Gonna just do a slip stitch. Now, what I'm gonna do next is, you see each one of these, there should be 10 stitches. And what I'm gonna do is, in each one of these stitches, I'm gonna do 2 half double crochets. Now, to start off doing the double crochets around, I'm going to chain 2. 1, 2. So then when we come back, that's gonna count as one of our half double crochets. At the end of the middle part, we will have 20 crochet stitches around. To do a half double, so I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to find the first little stitch here. I'm gonna insert my hook through, so we have the 2 loops on the top. Then I'm gonna yarn over, I'm gonna pull through, I'm just gonna loop over, and like a single crochet, pull through everything. And remember that I am gonna be doing 2 half double crochets in each one of these stitches. So I'm gonna yarn over, go through the same stitch I just made my first half double, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. Then I'm gonna yarn over, go into the next stitch. This is our first half double crochet in our next stitch. Then I'm gonna yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. One more time with this stitch, yarning over, going into the same stitch, yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, pulling through 3. I like to call them clusters. We have 2 clusters, so 1 here, 1 here, total of 5 stitches. This one that we started with, that counts as a stitch. Moving on, I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, going into the same one because we gotta do 2, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And I'm going to continue doing this all the way back to the beginning, so I will have a total of 20 half double stitches. And then when you get back to the beginning, you're gonna do that last one, but that chain that we did here counts as the second one in that stitch. Now that I'm at the beginning again, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to attach my last stitch to the very first chain of 2 that I did. That counts as a half double crochet. And I'm going to just do a little slip stitch right here. So I'm just gonna insert my hook, I'm gonna yarn over, and I'm going to pinch all the loops here and just pull through. And then I'm going to cut my working yarn, yarn over, pull through, pull tightly. And now it's time to move on to the next color. Now this is where I stray from the African flower granny square and go back to the sunflower granny square. And now I'm going to be doing some petals. First gonna have to make a slip knot. Pinching with my right hand, draping over with my left hand, then I'm going to grab the rest of the yarn with my right hand. I'm going to do a twist, and then with my fingers, I'm gonna go through, and I'm actually gonna grab part of the tail yarn right here. So with my fingers through, I'm gonna grab a bit of that tail yarn and just kind of slide it through until I make a knot. Then I can insert my hook and pull tightly. Now I'm gonna start on the petals. So to do the petals, I'm just gonna insert my hook in between each of these clusters. How I was doing 2 crochets into 1 stitch, what I'm gonna do is in between those clusters, so there's 2 half double crochets here, and then there's like 2 half double crochets here. In between the 2 is where I'm going to put my crochet hook. And I am just gonna do a slip stitch. So to do a slip stitch, I am just gonna yarn over and pull through the loop here, as well as the middle here, just like that. And then what I like to do is I just like to pull on the tail end, just to make it tight. To start a petal, I'm going to chain 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. And this builds your height of your crochets. And this chain here is gonna act as the first double crochet in the 1 petal. Now you only have to do the chain of 3 at the very beginning, and then the rest of them you can just do your double crochets. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to insert into that same spot in between the 2 clusters. I'm gonna yarn over, I'm going to pull through, I'm going to yarn over, and I'm gonna pull through 2. Because this is gonna be a petal, this is where you stop. You don't do another yarn over and pull through to complete the double crochet. It's like you're doing a double crochet, but also you're not at the same time, but that's okay. Let's continue. We're gonna do 1 more double crochet. So I'm gonna yarn over. I'm going to insert into the same spot. I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to pull through, I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to pull through 2. Because of that chain, that is going to count as a double crochet. So there's going to be 3 and there's going to be 3 loops. And then what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. Just like that. And then you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. In between each petal is going to be a chain of 2. We're going to move on to the next spot here, which is in between these 2 clusters. I'm going to yarn over, find that middle spot in between, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. 1 double crochet here, and we have 2 loops. We're going to leave the loops until we're done our other 2, and then we'll take them all off. We're going to yarn over, go back into the same spot, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have 3. Now very different than this one, because we did that chain, we didn't have that extra loop. Going forward, you're going to want to make sure you have 4 loops on your hook. We're going to do this one more time, so we're going to yarn over, insert into the same spot, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have 3 double crochets here, and we have 4 loops. So now what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over, and we are going to pull through all 4. And now I'm going to chain 2. And you're going to continue doing this all the way around until you're back here, and then you will have a total of 10 petals. Just did my last petal. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the first petal here, just yarning over and pulling through everything. Cut my yarn, then I'm going to yarn over and pull through. Now we can start our 3rd color. My next color of choice is going to be this very bright orange. Again, I am going to make myself a slip knot, insert my hook, and now I'm going to be making this scallop kind of technique in between each one of these petals. So where this little opening is here is where I'm going to do the 7 double crochets. I'm going to insert my hook in between those 2. I'm going to yarn over, and I'm just going to do a nice little slip stitch, just like that. And then I'm just going to pull tightly. Now I'm going to chain 3, so 1, 2, 3. Now this chain counts as 1 double crochet, and I have to have a total of 7 double crochets in between this little space right here. I'm going to do 6 more double crochets. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook back into that same spot, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 2 double crochets. 5 more times. Yarn over, insert into the same one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 more. I have my 7 double crochets here. I'm not going to chain any, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to go right into the next one and start doing 7 again. Once again, because I did that chain right here, that counts as 7, and that was just to build the height initially. Now I don't need to do any more chaining of 3. I can just go right into here and do 7 double crochets. I'm going to yarn over, go into that next gap between the petals here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 more. I have to do 6 more, so I have a total of 7. And these are all just double crochets. There is 7, and now I have to do it again in here, and I have to go each one until I have a total of 10 orange petals. So just continue going around doing the exact same steps, and then when we get back to here, I'll show you how to end it, and then we'll start our next color. Now that I've went all the way around and I'm back at the beginning again, I am going to slip stitch into this here. So I'm just going to go in, yarn over, pull through everything, cut my yarn, yarn over, pull through. The tricky part is over. Everything else is going to be so much simpler because you're basically just going around in a circle. There is a new element to this, and that would be a spike stitch. What a spike stitch is you're going to go from here all the way down here, loop into this, and then continue doing your single crochets. And the spike stitch is only for this row here. Again, we're going to do our slip knot, insert a hook, pull tightly, and I'm going to go right here at the beginning, yarn over and do a slip stitch, and then I'm just going to chain 1, and that's going to count as our first single crochet. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to try to hide the tails of yarn. I wasn't really able to do it over here just because they would kind of be shown, so I think I'm going to sew those in a little bit later on. But now I'm just going to be doing single crochets just on the top of these stitches here. I'm going to go into the next stitch here. I'm going to make sure that these 2 pieces of yarn are just looped over, just I want to hide them. And then I'm going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that's just a single crochet, and I'm going to continue doing that all the way around. I'm going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, you don't have to hide your ends. You can sew them in later on, but I like to hide them right now. Go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Once you've gotten to that 7th single crochet, what you're gonna do, so remember the chain one was 1, so we got to 7. What we're gonna do is now we're gonna do the spike stitch. Now what this means is I'm gonna take my hook and I'm gonna go all the way down here to this yellow petal. And you see that right here? I'm gonna put my hook through that, all right? So I'm just gonna put my hook through that opening onto the other side. Then I'm gonna take my yarn and I'm gonna yarn over just like a regular single crochet, yarn over, pinch, and pull through. And I'm gonna pull that all the way back up here where I am working, and then I'm gonna yarn over, and I'm gonna pull through, just like that. So I'm gonna go into my next stitch here, which is kind of hidden a little bit. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Doing another 7 single crochets, and then when I get to the next yellow petal, I'm going to do a spike stitch, and then continue on. Now this is how I do my spike stitches. There might be another way, but this is how I like to do them. I'm on my last petal here. So again, I'm gonna go and do my spike stitch. And then I am just going to slip stitch this to where I started. Yarn over, pull through. Okay, and now onto the next layer or row or color, whichever you want to go by. I'm gonna do another slip knot, insert my hook, pull through. Now I'm gonna be doing half doubles around. I'm gonna be skipping the first stitch of every petal. That would be this stitch for this petal, and then when you go to this one here, it will be this stitch. Okay, so each one I am gonna lose one just because when I did it, go to every single one, it just made it really too bulky. So I want to make it less bulky, less rolled up, because you kind of see how it wants to roll right now. I'm gonna insert my hook into the second crochet of this petal here, yarn over, pull through, and then I'm going to chain 2. This chain of 2 is gonna count as 1 half double crochet. Each petal, you will have a total of 6 half double crochets. I'm gonna yarn over, insert into the next stitch, which is right here. I'm also gonna try to hide up my tails. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through everything. These half doubles are the exact same half doubles that we did in the center here. And now that I've gotten to my second petal, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip this stitch here, and I'm gonna go into the second one and continue doing half doubles. Okay, got to the end of a petal, skipping one, going into the next one, and just repeat this over and over until you get to the beginning again where you started. And now that I'm at the beginning, I am going to do a slip stitch into where I started, onto my next color, which is back to the orange. Very similar to that yellow row that I just did, I'm gonna go around and do a half double crochet in each one, except what differs is that I'm not gonna be skipping any stitches. I'm going into each and every single one of these crochets with a half double crochet. I'm gonna chain my 2, because that counts as 1, and just doing half double into every single stitch. All right, go into your last stitch, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch where I started. And that will do it for orange and yellow. So I'm not gonna be using those colors anymore. Now back onto brown. For this one here, I'm actually just gonna be doing single crochets into each one. Insert my hook, just do a quick little slip stitch, chain 1. Then in each of these stitches, I'm going to do a single crochet. So just inserting my hook, yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, pulling through, 2. This is the exact same steps as the brown layer, except I'm not going to be doing these spike stitches. It's all going to be single crochet. And the next one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's pretty much it. So just do a bunch of single crochets all the way around, and then when we get here, we can start working on our white layer. And then slip stitch. And that is a wrap on the brown yarn. And now we're finally moving on to the white layer. With this layer here is gonna be the same as the orange layer that we did here. They're just gonna be all half double crochets all the way around. And then when we get back here, what's gonna happen is this is where I'm gonna start making that like top part of my lampshade cover. Eventually I'm gonna be going like kind of back and forth this way. But right now I have to go all the way around with a half double. This project is pretty much all half double crochet. And then I'm going to slip stitch where I started. Now, if this is all you wanted to do, is you just wanted to learn how to make this circle flower thingamajig, then this is the end of the video for y'all. I hope you all have a good day. Now, if you are here for the long haul and you want to see how I finish this up so it ends up looking like this is where that fun begins. Now, all of these are just double crochets and I only do 4 rows. And then I kind of taper them in the best I can because again, I made this up as I went along and I don't even know if it's correct or not, but it works for me and that's what I'm going for. What I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna be doing 20 double crochets. Once I reach 20, I stop and then we'll work our way back. The chain 3, this counts as our first double crochet. I'm gonna yarn over, go into the next stitch, which is just right here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 more. Again, this is the double crochet, the same double crochet we did for the orange. So yarning over, going into the next one, yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over, pulling through 2 more. And we're gonna do this so we have a total of 20 crochets, including this chain here, which counts. Currently I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need to do it until I have 20. That's 20. Now I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to flip, and now I'm gonna work my way back. Instead of like the circle where we were going around and around and around, we're just gonna go back and forth a few times. For that chain, I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm going to skip that stitch that the chain is in, and I'm also gonna skip the stitch right after it. So I'm gonna go into the third one right here. That's 1, 2, 3. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 more. To the end, and that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to chain 2, yarn over, flip it, skipping the first chain that I'm in, skipping that stitch, skipping the second stitch, going into the third stitch over here. It is a total of 15. Again, it's not exact math. I'm just kind of trying to do my best to taper it. I'm going to chain 2, flip that back over, skip 1, 2, go into the third one here. I like to go until I have about 12 cross. Cut it, yarn over, pull through. That's what it looks like. Now I know the top here doesn't look perfect. It's a little wonky. I mean, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along, but I just wanted to show you how I got this step, because what ends up happening is it's going to be stretched. I'm going to stretch it this way, it's going to get stretched this way because it's going to go over the lamp, and then I'm going to like stitch it on, and anything extra is going to be covered up, so it's not really going to be seen. But I just thought I would just add this part here if you're curious. That one's a little thing there, that one's a little thing. They're all kind of like that. Again, this is making it up as I go along. But yeah, so that is that, and then from here you just attach it to your lampshade. Again, this video was just a step-by-step tutorial on how I crocheted the parts for the lamp, and if you want to know how I made the entire lamp and everything, definitely check out my previous video. That will do it for this video. If you're new to my channel, like sewing, crafting, crocheting, and thrifting, why not hit the subscribe button? You can also follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok, which is both Fancy Dies or Tea Party. I think that is it, so y'all have a good day now.